Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so in this video, we're gonna cover the basic color pencils, okay? So what I'm gonna ask you to do is in your sketchbook, open up to a new page, okay? And you're gonna copy this onto that page, all right? What I would highly suggest is that you pause this video and you draw this on your paper, okay? I suggest also to have your paper be landscape, not portrait, okay? Now, a couple of things about this. Now, this side right here is about as wide as your hand because we're not gonna be doing a lot over here, but taking notes and doing a color wheel. Over here, we're gonna be doing a little bit more work. What I did with here is I drew my line, all right? Then I divided in half because you're gonna have 4 sections, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the top, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom. Yes, they're a little bit wonky, they're not quite even, and it is okay. If you need to have a ruler, go ahead. This section over here is supposed to be smaller than this one, so it is like 1/3 of this. So these are 2/3 and that's 1/3, all right? So please pause the video and copy this. All right, perfect. So we're gonna start off with by putting at the top of this color pencil, okay? And this is for our basic, all right? In 8th grade, you will get a little bit more advanced on what you can do with colored pencils, okay? So we're gonna first start off by coloring our color wheel. I'm gonna ask that you find your colored pencils for here, okay? It does not matter. I'm gonna tell you right now, what kind of color pencils you have for this. You are gonna find that not all color pencils are made the same, okay? I have, just speaking on white, because I'm gonna talk about white in a little bit, okay? I have this artist color, which my daughter has this beautiful brand that I'm kind of borrowing her. There are ones called Blick Studio, okay? I also have, there's Prismacolor as well. You could have Crayola, and this is like a no-name brand, okay? You're gonna find that they come in all different ways. The nicer, I'm going to say this, the little bit more expensive brands do have a, nicer flow to them. They color nicer, they're smoother on the paper, but you can get the same effects, okay, with all of these. Just a little bit more work. Okay, all right, so what I need you to get is a red, a blue, and a yellow. Anyone know what the red, yellow, and blue? Oh, good, you do. They are the primary colors. Very nice. Okay, so let's fill them in, okay? So I'm hoping that this is a red because it looks like a red. So let's put red in here. All right, let's put yellow over here. All right, and on the bottom, we're gonna put our last primary color, which is blue, okay? Now, in between them, they have, so these are our primary colors. I'm gonna put a P next to them because they indicate primary. Next ones are our secondary, okay? So secondary colors. For now, I'm not gonna have you guys actually mix them because I'm hoping that through kindergarten now you have mixed these colors, okay? So we know that in between yellow and red is orange, okay? Don't lose that orange, okay? In between red and blue is going to be, you got it, purple, or another word for that is violet, okay? Purple and violet, I do feel that they do have different colors, but it's okay to use either one. And the last one in between yellow and blue is, yes, you got that, green. Now we are going to label these. You got it, very nice. S for secondary. Now, we do have one more layer of color. This is called tertiary, okay? So I'm gonna put, P is for primary, S is for secondary, T is for tertiary. There we go. When I talk about tertiaries, what they are is they are the mix, okay, in between the secondary and the primary. And when you call it by name, you call it the primary name first. So for example, we have yellow, orange. Yellow, and then we have orange. Now, right now, it just looks like I took my orange and put it straight on the yellow. When you're mixing colors, I suggest you color it like a sandwich, okay? You put one color and then you mix the other one, all right? So we're gonna take a few seconds and we are going to quickly just do the rest of them. I'm gonna show you a little trick on how to kind of do this. So watch. So easiest way to fill in this real fast is we put on one coat and then we bring it over here to the next one. Okay. Go back to this one. Add that. All right, so we got the green, now we're gonna get the blue. I'm not gonna put too heavy on this one, okay, because you want it to mix. Don't want to be too hard. It's a nice blue. See how nice and fast this kind of goes when you prep the next one. That red doesn't really look like a red. Gotta go back over with the little purple. And let's go with the orange here. And then make sure that's orange. And then go over that with a little bit of red. Awesome. All right, so let's put T's around these because these are our tertiaries, okay? Now, when you do create your project, I do expect to see tertiary colors. I don't want to see all flat colors. That means these. So I want you to mix them, all right? Use a variety of them. If you have the mixed colors, that's fine, but I want to see other colors other than the flat yellow, okay? Okay, so let's talk about a few other things. Let's talk about intensity, okay? Intensity is how bright a color can be. So intensity, so I'm gonna do like a green. If we press really dark, it's really bright. But if we press really light, the intensity is dull. Okay, we have shade. You can, yes, make different shades of these, all right? So shades definitely work with, I gotta find a black. Shade is when we add black to a color to darken it, okay? So let's go back to that green, all right? So we're gonna put 3 little dots here and I'm gonna show you how black can affect a color, okay? When we add black, you add a smidgen of it, okay? Because black can overtake your color very fast, okay? So for this one, I'm gonna go very, very light, okay? And we'll go a little bit darker on this one, okay? All right, so I'm gonna go back over and I'm gonna mix it in, okay? So I'm gonna go back over this one and I'm going to darken it. Now, how are these helpful? Well, if you have a color that you need to change up, you have a shadow, I would suggest adding black on it, okay? Cool. All right, so let's talk about tint. Tint is where we add white. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, okay, that white is not created equal with all of the color pencils, okay? This right here works for almost everything, okay? The colors mix, they're fine, but white, when we actually use it, looks a little different, okay? So I'm gonna use a Crayola, because I know Crayola is the basic one that most people are gonna have. I am gonna show you how Blick, because I think Blick is one that will blend a little nicer, kind of like the, what is it, Prismacolor, okay? So here's my trick, all right? With color pencils, apply the white first, You're like, what? Yep, apply the white first. So we're gonna put 3 dots of white. Now I know this is gonna be hard to remember and see where your white is, but give it a go, okay? Oh, that looks good. Perfect, exactly. Okay, now if you take your color pencil and you apply a little bit of color on it, okay? A little bit more and a little bit more here, okay? You can see how it changes it, okay? It makes it lighter than this. And yes, I still go over it originally with that white color pencil, okay? This is the best way to work with color pencils, okay, when you're dealing with white, okay? So tint is add white, but honestly, you're starting. So let's put this in here. Start with white, okay? And then black is add little at a time. Little at a time. There we go. Last one, texture. I'm gonna call this texture and design. Texture and design. So texture and design is a little bit different, okay? Because you can add these designs on top of a color, okay? So let's kind of look at a little bit of this. What can, excuse me, what can we do? So let's divide this into, let's do 6 sections. Let's go in here. So, perfect. So what can color pencils do? Well, we can make it be, let's start with the line itself. It can have a solid line, okay? We can have it be like a sketchy line, okay? It's up to you on how you do your lines, all right? Next, we're gonna do thick and thin. I'm gonna call this thick and thin because it's just really about how wide it's gonna be. Your lines can be wide, they can be medium, they can be super thin, okay? Another thing we can do is we can change up the direction. Now these are all things that, they're not colored in, okay? It's just design work. Okay, so I can go wiggles, I can do zigzags, I can do interrupted, I can change it so it's more free flow, all different things that we can do designs, okay? Texture is how something feels, by the way. It's not necessarily, has to be something feel. It could be what it looks like. So for example, actually I'm gonna pick, Rosart. This is one of those brands that our teachers are not fond of, but we deal with them, okay? See this right here? This design, it is a texture, okay? Because it gives it like a feel, like there's a design there, okay? So that's kind of the same thing with this. So I'm gonna put that over there. Next one we're gonna go over is, let's do tapering. Oh yes, that would be good. Tapering. So what's tapering? When you take your pencil and you go hard, light. It's like almost like a flick. So what happens is it's almost like really hard here and it just kind of flicks out, okay? And then we just have regular old, a design where we're using the art elements. So let's add a swirl. I don't know, some kind of weird design. So we can make little designs with this, with our work, okay? Where we kind of combine things all together. Now, what does it look like when we kind of put them all together? Let's put them all together. Let's layer this. All right, so in here, I want you just let's give it a nice color, nice shade. Okay. And let's say we add some of this stuff. Let's put a design in. Okay, let's put in some of those lines. Let's put in tapering. All right, and we can always go on top and we can always color in some areas. Now, what did I do here? Well, I added another layer onto it, okay? So it's not so flat, all right? There we go. So you can layer this up. Beautiful, perfect. Okay, so now on to the next spot, all right? I'm gonna move my pencils over a little bit and let's start over here. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna look into smooth. Okay, and we're gonna take this and we're going to divide this into 4s, okay? Any color is fine with me. I'm just gonna kind of like rotate around colors so I don't use all my daughter's colors. All right, so smooth. That is when we were long ago, okay, with our regular pencil, okay, our achromatic pencil. Oh, these are so creamy, it's so lovely. Where it was a nice smooth filled in. You're gonna find that doing a smooth effect with color pencils is wonderful, okay? It goes fast and it's quick, unlike the regular pencil. You can't blend these with your fingers. So when you're adding color, I'm gonna suggest here, let's put it here. Build color, okay? So what does that mean? Start off light. I'm very, very lightly going over this, okay? And you just build it up. A little bit more pressure. Okay. There we go. These are just not regular values. These now turn into color values, okay? So when we're doing it with just pencil, those are regular values, okay? They're achromatic values, and these are color values. All right, so next section we're gonna practice with is gradation. Oh, you love gradation, so do I, okay? In here, we're gonna just draw a little leaf. Okay, gradation, that's that smooth transitional look, okay? Now remember, I don't want tornadoes. You want to have it nice and wide all the way through. We're gonna do this 3 times and then we're gonna shade in that beautiful leaf. Yes, in whatever color you chose. All right, one more time. Nice. Okay, so when we're working with small areas, all right, my suggestion is 1, imagine where your light source is going to be. My light source is coming this way, so that means I'm going to get darker, or it's going to get a little bit more intense in color a little further. All right, so let's practice this out. We want to make sure we fill in that whole space. Now this is going to get a little darker. I think I'm going to shade it on here a little bit. There we go. Clean up the edge. Very nice. Smooth effect is really lovely. Okay, beautiful. All right, so now let's switch it up and let's try something a little bit different. Let's do hatching. All right, hatching, okay, is all about going in one direction, okay? One direction. The more color you add, the darker it's gonna be. So we're gonna add some more. Perfect. And a little bit more. Beautiful. Oops, went too much. Believe it or not, most of your color pencils can erase. They're not gonna completely come off, but that is okay. Because believe it or not, it might actually add a little bit to it, all right? Okay, so let's go through and let's add in, oops, let's practice gradation. Okay. So this one's a lot easier to do than the smooth because you just get the hang of it. Nice, okay. There we go. Now the next two, we're going to put in 2 leaves. Now how am I doing this leaf so easily? All I'm doing is a curve up and a little like, looks like a little happy face in a line. So one of these leaves is gonna be just one color. Then I wanna show you what it looks like when we add multiple colors, okay? So we're gonna go through and I'm gonna add some of these lines. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit darkness here. And you can even get like wild and trace over with your original color, okay? Not so bad, right? Looks pretty good. Okay, so let's go in and let's add some colors on this one. What does it look like when we add colors? Now, if we were adding colors up here, we would just color in just right over it, and we would kind of know what that would look like, all right? For here, it's a little bit different effect. All right, so I'm gonna add in, let me add in a green so we can kind of get that look. You would do the same effect that you did before. Lines, directions, same thing, okay? It visually mixes your colors, okay? If we were doing one up here, we would just color in on top of it. Okay, so let me mix maybe some red on top. We would just mix in, same thing, kind of going over it, and it gives that other color, okay? That tertiary color, very nice. You can also add in, remember, if you want to add in a little bit of black. I find that black also gives you nice detail work, okay? Which is really cool, all right? See how nice it kind of looks when we have contrast? Ooh, that's a good word. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Next one is going to be cross-hatching. Divide this one up. And you know what, since we're at it, let's do stippling. And we'll set this one up too. All right, let's do... Beautiful. All sorted. Excellent. So let's pick another color. I'm gonna go with, oh, the dreaded brown, because no one ever uses brown. Okay, cross hatching. Same as hatching, it's just its cousin, and it goes in a different direction, okay? Nice. Remember, as we get lighter, we get more spaced out. And more spaced out, okay? There we go. Same thing, closer. We start off kind of like a hatching, okay? But then you wanna cross it. I am going to let you in on a secret. Cross hatching is my favorite. It is so much fun to add like a little bit of extra excitement to your stuff, so it's really cool. So this one we're going to do a little bit different. I'm going to show you that one. So let's go back to, let's do this brown, okay? So this one is going to be solely only brown, okay? Add in here, there we are. There we are, okay? So we can kind of see how that works. This one, I'm gonna mix. I'm gonna mix smooth with something else, okay? So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna shade this as if I was shading with regular smooth gradation, okay? So I'm gonna go in and do that. And on top, I'm gonna put the cross-hatching. Okay, so watch. So then on top, I'm gonna add that cross-hatching, okay? So you can kind of see how you can add the cross-hatching on top. Add a little bit more here. Oh, that's super, super, super awesome. Okay, the last one is stippling. All right, my suggestion for this one, okay, is you want to have patience and calmness with the next one, okay? Because stippling is all about adding a lot of dots, okay? So stippling, and you don't need to, fill this whole thing, okay? Are a whole bunch of close dots, okay? Now these are all ways we can add in texture, okay? Another way of doing the texture design. Closer together, darker, fading out, a little bit more, okay? Same thing with here. I don't expect you to do this whole thing, okay? Really dark, fading out, okay? All right, and then fading out, darker here, and it kind of fades out, all right? So here we go. We're gonna go in, and I'm gonna add in my blue over here, okay? And I'm gonna put it dark, and it's gonna fade out, okay? Now this, I wouldn't do a whole project with this, okay? With pencil, if you want to, go for it, okay? There are many artists out there that do stippling, okay? And they create amazing art. There's a whole pointillism, whole movement that did this, okay? And I want to show you what it looks like when we add it with not only one color, but two different stipples, okay? Stipple, I guess that would be it. So let's add this nice and, we'll put that in green as if I colored it in, okay? We're gonna make this all solid, okay? So this is gonna be just a solid color. I'm not even gonna use gradation or anything. It's just gonna be solid, okay? And I'm gonna use the stippling as the shading, okay? Add that in. Okay, then I think I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to go with black because I think that will show up nicely. You want contrast with this, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, it just adds a little bit more. This is great for detail. So let's say I was, actually that's really pretty, people. Let's get really close together in here. All right, small details. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. There's your basic color pencil, okay? Color pencil can do a lot. When you're done with this, please upload this into step number 1 in your unit, okay? And when you're done with all of this, you can start step number 2.